Hey guys, it's Andrea. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, I just wanted to dive a bit deeper into disability identity and disability erasure. Um, Guys, so disability identity is something that has been hard won and fought for, in that people have not always felt safe to identify as disabled. And when I say identify, I mean spending hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars to get the correct medical treatments, to get correct diagnoses, to get on the correct medications, to be able to live their best lives. And because once upon a time, even in Australia, disability, or especially psychosocial disabilities, so for the Americans, that is intellectual disabilities. We call them psychosocial disabilities over here. So if they were severe, or if it was a mental illness that was severe, you were sent to a institution. And Toowoomba has one called Bailey Henderson Mental Hospital, and we also had Hameworth's Disabled Children's Home. And yes, these adults were treated like children or were institutionalized and given chores, and they were sent to live out their lives happily at Bailey Henderson. In the 40s and 50s, when it was operating at its height, Bailey Henderson actually had a really good reputation. They saw disability not as a moral problem, but as a societal problem, and therefore they had to create a society for people with disabilities to be included. A great thought and great forward thinking at the time. When the 70s and the 80s came through, there was psychotropics, there wasn't the need for it, so it is fallen into disuse. And during COVID, we did use it for COVID testing, and there are plans for it to be used as the new hospital in Toowoomba. But you can see with this that identifying as disabled came at great risk, where we accepted people who were deaf, who were blind, who had mobility issues. And Toowoomba, where I live, has always been ahead of the game on that. But then we get into identifying as disabled in education, in training, of having a support worker who's in a uniform instead of a companion, which is how they used to be called pre-NDIS. It was the same job but different title. And you do, when you develop a disability that you didn't always have, so you weren't born with it, you didn't develop it in childhood, it hasn't always been a part of you. Integrating that part of you can be challenging. And it's challenging in that you go through a grieving process because your body and mind can't do what it once was able to do. In some cases, you can't make decisions for yourself. You need much more rest than other people. You simply can't keep up. You have to plan events months in advance. You have to plan your budget down to the last 5 cents, because you need to keep in touch with specialists. And in Australia, because of the NDIS, we don't have the charities that we used to that would pay for things as well. I'm quite lucky that I do have savings behind me. I've got the YouTube, I've joined the Amazon affiliates program, so these will all potentially be bringing income into me as well. But I do know other pensioners who at times are forced to go and look for work as well. And so you see that disability is always been a negative thing, and it shouldn't be.